Today, we're going to dive into the Harada Method. It's this incredibly powerful system from Japan, and it's designed for anyone who feels stuck and is just ready to build a life with real purpose and mastery. So let's get into it. So, does this feeling ring a bell? You know, that constant nagging sense that you're always one step behind? Like your to-do list is some kind of monster that just never, ever sleeps, and your biggest goals, they always feel just out of reach. If you feel that way, you're definitely not alone. I mean, this quote, it just perfectly captures that feeling of being completely swamped. It's a struggle so many of us know all too well, that gap between who we want to be and who we actually are, day in and day out. But what if I told you there's a different way? What if there was a system that focused less on just what you do and way more on who you're becoming? A method that's actually designed to turn that quiet desperation into focused, confident, and unstoppable action. To really understand just how powerful this method is, we've got to go back to the beginning, to its creator and the frankly unbelievable challenge he decided to take on. So meet Takashi Harada. Now, this guy wasn't some big-shot corporate guru or pricey consultant. Nope. He was a coach working with kids that pretty much the rest of the world had already written off. And when I say written off, I mean it. Harada was coaching at the absolute lowest performing, most troubled school in the entire city of Osaka. We're talking rock bottom. The whole environment was just suffocating in hopelessness. The students, their parents, the community, they had all just accepted that failure was their destiny. It wasn't just that they lacked resources, they lacked the basic belief that things could ever change. Okay, now here's where the story gets really incredible. From that rock-bottom school, in just 3 years, Takashi Harada produced 13 national champions. 13. This wasn't a miracle, it wasn't luck, it was the result of a system. Harada himself said that once the system was in place, the whole process became almost automatic. His students learned how to vividly see their own success, create a real, concrete plan, and, this is the most important part, work on themselves every single day to make it happen. So, how on earth did they do it? Well, the entire method is built on this really powerful foundation of 4 interconnected pillars. They're all designed to build a complete, resilient, and self-reliant person. These are spirit, skills, physical condition, and daily life. Now, these aren't just separate goals you can check off a list. No, they're a dynamic system where each one actually makes the other stronger. Let's start with the first one, and you'll see how this whole thing builds. So, spirit. Think of this as your engine. And we're not talking about that fleeting kind of motivation you get from watching an inspiring video. This is about building a deep, unshakable reason for what you're doing. A key idea here is that before you can ever figure out the how, you have to be crystal clear on your why. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche just captured this perfectly. When your why is powerful enough, you can get through anything. The brutal workouts, the late nights, all the inevitable setbacks. Your spirit is the fuel that carries you through it all. All right, next up, skills. This is your how. And this is where a really powerful psychological loop kicks in. See, the better you get at something, anything, the better you feel about yourself. Becoming tangibly better at a skill feeds your spirit, which then drives you to master that skill even more. It's this brilliant upward spiral. The third pillar is physical condition. And this is something that so many of us, especially if we work at a desk, completely forget about. Harada knew that huge goals demand huge energy, and that energy comes directly from a strong, healthy body. In this system, your mind and body are a team. One just can't succeed without the other. And this is just a fantastic illustration of that idea. The famous writer Haruki Murakami has this legendary discipline. He believes that the sheer physical endurance it takes to sit in a chair and create a world for months on end is just as important as his creativity. That daily run of his, it's not a hobby, it's a non-negotiable part of his work. And finally, we get to what might be the most important pillar of all, daily life. This is where Harada's genius really shines. He realized that a powerful spirit, incredible skills, and peak physical health, well, they're all just good intentions if you don't have a daily structure to make them real. Your biggest goals aren't achieved in some flash of inspiration. They are built in the small, consistent things you do every single day. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? This is the best part. The Harada Method isn't just a philosophy. It's a tangible, day-to-day management system that comes with practical tools. See, it's not just a bunch of ideas floating around in your head. It's a system you can actually hold in your hands. The method uses these incredibly effective tools, like the Open Windows 64 grid to break down huge goals, and routine check sheets for building and tracking habits that turn your abstract vision into concrete reality. And check out how perfectly each tool connects back to the pillars. The goal form, that defines your spirit. The Open Windows 64, that builds your skills. The routine check sheet structures your daily life. And the daily diary lets you reflect and constantly improve. It creates this amazing feedback loop, where every part just makes the others stronger.
And all of this brings us to the ultimate purpose of the Harada Method. And spoiler alert, it goes way, way beyond just ticking boxes on a to-do list.
The real takeaway here is that this was never just about creating better athletes or more efficient employees. It was always aimed at something much, much deeper. The real goal is to become self-reliant. It's about building the inner strength and the practical systems to stop waiting for things to happen and start making them happen yourself. It's about taking complete, radical ownership of your life and your future. So the question the Harada Method really leaves us with is this. If you applied this level of conscious, systematic intention to your spirit, your skills, your health, and your daily life, who would you become?